Greetings, mortals, and your humble host, EpicJason's speaking. And since I'm being kicked out of this dump based on no explanation given whatsoever, I figure one thing I teased is that I would do one last video showcasing everything that I currently have in my collections. Little tour. This is a studio apartment that I've been at since 2002. Don't recommend it. I don't really recommend apartment living in general because it always comes down to really crappy managers, and especially what happened the other day and how cowardly they gave up when I had to, shut down their really, really poor arguments and their hypocrisy, which I just can't stand at all. I don't recommend really having to go through that experience. So anyway, I'm going to shut up about that and just showcase my collection. We got the two back shelves here before I continue, and then the shelves over there, and then one in the middle right next to the bathroom that has a Jaws poster just propped up. On the top here, we have all the Halloween stuff. We have the 1978 pumpkin, the original mask, the Halloween 2 hospital mask, the Halloween 6 Curse of Michael Myers mask, the Halloween Kills mask, Halloween Ends mask, and the Halloween 6 light-up pumpkin. And then this shelf, we got a mixture of different things. We got the first of the custom Fox McCloud statue. This was already, when this was purchased, this was already completed. Unfortunately, part of this was starting to break, and so I had to send it back to get it fixed. And then once I was able to conjure up some extra bit of money, I got a second one, but this one doesn't have the base, and I actually asked it to try to make the legs a little more stable. And the biggest difference with this one is that this one is actually more closer to the promotional puppet that they use in all the advertisements. So the color is correct, the eyes are correct, the color of the jacket is correct. I mean, this is fucking awesome. The only other thing I need, I guess that one, I think what the artist was going for was the pause menu color of the jumpsuit, but it's supposed to be more like mustard yellow. And I use a whole lot of references from photos, videos, everything I could conjure up to try to get this as closely accurate as possible to the person who was making this. I think the Metracanthosaurus Hammy Collection figurine is not considered rare. Yeah, some Cardcaptor, Pokemon, Street Sharks. There's Flippy in the back. There's a custom plushie. That one I got for Christmas one year. Probably still my favorite Grinch plush I've seen out in the wild. Just the stubby little arms. It was just too funny. I think we got that at a Cracker Barrel before I went on my Chicago trip. And then, second row, we got some NECA stuff like the Predators in the back. All of them based on Predator 2, except for Laser Shot over there. Classic Venom, movie Venom, the Metal Mash endoskeleton, and the Terminator 1 endoskeleton. And this is the, aside from the Caprasukas, this is the Raptor, or basically Raptor-ish shelf, because you got the you got the Atrociraptors, and then the Pyroraptors, and then the Kilobator, And then you got the Troodons in the back. Still would love to get like a proper figurine at some point. Either custom or Mattel would just get their act together. Just one that's actually more color accurate to the one in the games. And then we got the Trick or Treat Studios Michael Myers. I do need another one because I need one there was an accessory pack that came out that came with the more closely accurate coveralls. 1978 Michael Myers, Hannibal Lecter, Billy the Puppet from Saw. And then this is the more Velociraptors, as well as the Austroraptors and the Utah Raptor in the back, which they really need to do more. The Hellraiser puzzle box replica, which it does open up. The first, these are most of the more recent Hot Wheels cars I've gotten. Some of them are real cars. Only one of them is, this is the Tumbler from The Dark Knight Rises. And Mapusaurus, I still need to get one more of this color in particular. A bunch of fake knives. 2 of the young T-Rexes. That's a custom, but like one that doesn't stand too well, and 2, some of the paint was starting to come off. And then on shelf number 2, you got the Cacodemon from Doom, a plush bunny that actually started calling Daisy. Entei got this guy from a restaurant called Black Bear. Pain Elemental, also from Doom. And then this whole shelf is basically Dilophosaurus. You got, that one. All the ones that have the frill that pop up when you push the tail in the back. The more recent one. This one is a custom. One of the best looking customs in my collection. And then some other... you got the Guanlong trio. Only one of them has the better paint eye. The other 2 is lazy ones. So it's kind of like the 3 Stooges. Only one of them is a smart one. The other 2 are dumb as shit. And then this shelf is mostly NECA Alien. Aside from a few other stuff like Red Doom Guy. Still need to get class. I'm surprised they never made a blue variant. Megasaurus, the original Orcoraptor, the Prowler Alien, the Arachnid, Big Chap, the Dog Alien, or Fawn Alien from Alien 3, the Razor Claw Alien, the Burster Alien, Samus in the Phazon suit, Samus and the various... I'm also surprised that they didn't even do any more figurines of Samus. Like, you would have thought that by now they would have had the Gravity suit or the Light suit and Dark suit from Prime 2. I mean, come on. These companies need to hire me. I got ideas. And then the whole section of cars. Still trying to get some more Dodge Vipers. I would love to get a Viper Defender at some point. If these damn companies would just finally make one. And this car in particular, a little funny story about this one. This one is actually... I got this because... this looks identical to my parents' original van that they had when I was like a really small kid. We were living in Montgomery County, Maryland, and this was the same color. I think it was the same type of car, but it was the same exact colors. And oh yeah, I remember that I would always sit in the middle. We would always fight to try to get the middle seats, and before more of my siblings started being born, we would always fight. 2 of them would get the middle, and one person would have to sit in the back. This would have been cool as a custom, but the tail was so loose that I had to try to glue it down, and the glue does not look good on this. Some of these are cool, but like some of these are like, you know, like meh. Another meh custom that I got. Some of them were just stuff I found on eBay. The Batmobile. This is the Flash version, which I didn't get it because of the Flash, the movie. I got it because it was the classic Batmobile, and it was dirt cheap. Playmobil Back to the Future Part 1 DeLorean, which it does light up, and it does open, but I want to get another one at some point so I can convert it using that box set over there, so I can convert the other one of this into a Part 2 DeLorean. A couple of Knuckles plushies, you know, regular Knuckles, mini Knuckles, Vipers, a couple of Sonic figurines. I still need to get more. A couple of small stuff. And the two Paris is just hanging out. My computer, yeah, bed, bathroom, computer, and that's where I sit and watch my television. So main room, and then you go into the kitchen, and then out the door with the other sheep. The rest of the turds. Anyway, in the closet up here, we got the first half of my Blu-ray collection. Different mixture of different titles. Some of these Halloween ones I need to get a backup copy because the cover cases, some of them are starting to come loose. But finding them cheap has not been easy. And then the other half of my movie collection. Again, different types of titles. Different genres. You know, whenever I move into my next zoo, or if I could finally move into a better place by now, if my parents would just help me find a better place, which isn't another goddamn atrocious apartment complex. But you know, if I could get a better place and I can, you know, showcase everything better and have more room and better ways to display everything, you know, I can finally do a showcase of all the steel books that I have. All right, before we move to the other shelves, let's just see what else we got around here. We got this, which it does work. Let's see if I can do it. Yep, still works because it has batteries in it. Super Colossal Moza. Billa always sits, because I don't have a whole lot of room, he's always sitting on top, like right next to, this is always where I sit, so he's right next to me. I do intend to get another one, but I haven't yet. And these were the more recent stuff I got. The ultra rare Alaphosaurus and the Orcoraptor. You know, the thing is that I think Mattel, I mean, again, I would love to do more like opinion pieces, but like Mattel, like, to be honest, you don't need the gimmicks of just peeling everything off, which, you know, as much as I prefer like the more water reveals, because all you got to do is just wash it off with a rag or a paper towel. I mean, it's cool that they came out with these. I'm really glad that they did, because the joints are actually way better. But I don't like having to peel everything off, and then you gotta get different tools to try to clean the teeth, and then get everything from the, like deep down in these, right inside these, like, it's just a pain in the fucking ass. So I think they should just make more, you don't need gimmicks. Gimmicks just, after a while they get old. Just make more figurines like this and, the one over there, because I think, even though I prefer the one on the shelf, just have solid joints, where it's not loose, where the jaw is, it opens and closes without having to dangle down. You don't need a whole lot. Just have good joints, good paint work, and I think you'd actually sell better. I mean, Mattel needs to get, Mattel and a lot of companies needs to start taking notes and suggestions and feedback from your customers, because we're the ones that are paying for this stuff. Yeah, my Mortal Kombat collection is getting back up. There's a couple more figurines coming out that I got my eyes on. And there are some older ones I do intend on getting, so that collection's going to grow too. All the Super Nintendo games I got from Tecmo Super Bowl, Star Fox 2, Star Fox 1, Primal Rage, 2 Jurassic Park ones, and one, I think it's like a homebrew of Ultimate MK3, because they added more characters, they added stages back in. This does not work. But because it's still a solid looking shotgun, or double-barreled shotgun, it's just basically a prop at this point. This works, and this works. I don't know if this works because I never put the batteries in it. Then we got Bruce the Shark from Jaws, from NECA. Still probably the best looking version in terms of, like, something that's more available to the public. Of course, I would love to get a custom statue by Shark City Ozark, because those guys do awesome work, but again, they're expensive. And then next to it is the Jaws popcorn bucket, which it does open. Never put anything in it, though. It's just been sitting here like an Easter Island statue. The Super Colossal oh my god. Super Colossal Spinosaurus. I almost said T-Rex, didn't I? This one is actually the better copy of the two. At one point, I almost thought about maybe doing, like, very, very minor custom work on this guy in terms of the other half, by making, like maybe just one eye a bit more blind, having some flesh being ripped off of its teeth. Anyway. Then we got all the human characters from Jurassic World, and a couple of vehicles, which I might need to get some backup copies of at some point. My Mortal Kombat lamp, which does work. I do think I need to get another one as well. And then the big shelf number 1, which many people have seen photos of, but I don't think anyone has ever seen a close look at everything. And those who collect this stuff will already recognize what you're about to see, so I don't really need to do a whole lot of commentary, just showing everything off as best as I can. And you're probably wondering, why do I have so many Moosaurus figurines? Because all of these, every single one of them, including this one, they all have quality control issues. That's why I still have yet to get a perfect copy. So I just kept getting ones that have, like, weird joints and loose joints, and like with this one, you can see, like, part of it's coming off. This one in particular, the back leg is kind of like more caved in. These are all awesome. And then we pan upwards. Woo! Get the Dreadnoughtus, the Titanosaurus, and the Brack, and these things are massive and big. And, you know, I would imagine child me would have been extremely jealous, because they never had those as a kid. Hammond collection, I got this for my birthday last year. I don't know, I actually prefer, to be honest, those over this, because like the shape of the snout is more accurate. Actually, let's pan back right there. We go. Big Gigas, the Spinos, Peruosaurus. It's pretty good. I get as much shots as possible because some might be hiding. 2 Dryosaurus, which is easily the best of their most recent Hammond collection figurines that came out. Then pan up, we get the other 2 sauropods, Mamenchisaurus and Diplodocus. And then on this shelf is all the vehicles with some dinosaurs on there. This Concavinator, by the way, is fucking awesome. Oh, yeah, these are all the Dimetrodons. All the Jurassic Park 1 although, I want to get another one of this because this is by far my favorite vehicle out of this entire wave. Not only do I need to get another one of this because I just love it to death, and I would love to have backup copies, but I need to get another one of this because one of these, one of the doors is actually kind of loose. But, and then Mosasaurus with Suchomimus, and then a few of the Rexes. And before we move on to shelf number 2, and near the end of this little showcase, got some more other stuff, like some of the flying reptiles. This is the most recent Dimorphodon. I got a couple of the little biters. And then we got the Super Nintendo and Ultra 64. Got this statue at Barnes & Noble's. The better designed version of the Cats, to be honest. Yeah, that's also hanged up right in the middle. Well, trying to be careful where I'm walking. And then we come to the final shelf. Geosternbergia, Sapejara, which is easily my favorite of the flying reptiles. What's interesting about this Pteranodon is that not only does it look more like the JP3 version versus like all the other ones that came out, but if you look at the coloring, I think it has more of a banana yellow type color scheme going on, especially with the browns attached to it. The only brand new figurine that's not been removed from its packaging. The Jason Goes to Hell mask, which this was never worn, but I got this at I'm trying to remember. It was during my Chicago trip, and I ended up walking towards a completely random party city in part of Chicago, and that's before I went to get White Castle for dinner. And then I realized why, at that point, I would never want to go to another White Castle ever again. That place sucks. And then we have the top shelf of my favorite dinosaur. Tyrannosaurus, as well as some of its more closer relatives, and some other species that I and other stuff I could just fit on the shelf, try to make up some space. Easily the best of the Wave 3 Dino Reveal stuff, and glad I was able to get two. I want to be able to have a third copy, but like, glad I was able to find it and obtain both of these, because man, like the metallic blues, I wish they would do paint stuff like that more often. And then this is the other custom painted figurine in my collection. Along with the Dilophosaurus, it's one of the best in terms of the painting. This was Vesperosaurus, I think the name of the species was, but it's done in a more like blue jay color scheme, and it just looks awesome. And then we continue downwards. Have some more of the we got the Majungasaurus, which they have yet to do another paint scheme outside of that upcoming figurine that has no release date. And then we've got the San Diego Comic-Con Buck Rex, which I was damn lucky to get this. And I honestly think it's one of the best Hammond Collection figurines, at least in my opinion. And it's a damn shame that the Hammond Collection has yet to do any proper, like, mainstream Buck or even Doe for that. Like, Doe doesn't even have any official figurines. Like, what the fuck is the matter with you people? Like, give that fucking Rex its own figurine by now. And then in the back, we got a whole collection worth of Allosaurus and whoop. Uh-oh. Just realized it was there we go. Yeah, I need to get another copy of that. That particular copy does not stand too well. The Ceratosaurus in the front of there's two of them, one in the back and one in the front. And the other Allosaurus, the most recent one that I got, which is, the paint scheme is actually really good on this one. And then we come to, whoop. Oh, that's all right. It doesn't matter. Dominoes. And then we come to this shelf, which is mostly just Stegosaurus and a couple other different species. Hammond Collection ones really, I guess I could try to find another one as well. Got a couple of Scutosaurus, and then Gastonia, which, is more closely related to Ankylosaurus, but again, I try to get some space. And then the final part of the shelf, which are mostly Ceratopsians. And that's it. That is everything. So, that's my one final look. Well, that's the bedroom, but nothing ever happens in there. What a crime. I just had to stick that in. But yeah, this is the last that you'll see any footage of this, I know they call themselves the Huntington, but because they seem to butt fuck everyone and screw with everyone, I think it's appropriate that, since I always nickname apartment buildings I'm at, due to how I'm treated and the politics surrounding them, I guess it's no surprise that I also nicknamed this place the Humpington, which is exactly what the name that they deserve, given the fact that they just seem to screw with everyone. So, anyway, that's everything. Everything's just, every single one of these things is going to start being packed up soon, and then move So hopefully by this time it'll actually be an improvement and not, not another, what's the more polite way to say this? Not another, another local mental asylum disguised as an apartment complex, run by the inmates. Yeah, I do need some major improvements in my life, and that's something I've been hammering home to everyone over and over, because, I don't like repetition, and I don't like being stuck in the same problems over and over again. So anyway, that's enough of me rambling, and that's everything in my entire collection before everything starts to get packed up. I don't know what's going to happen at this point. I really don't know where I'm going to move to. I really hope it's not Texas again, because, well, I'll just leave it at this. This is just my entire collection, and I just wanted to showcase it all to you, because I said I would. So, with that being said, this is EpicJason's speech. Whoops. Hold on a second. Daddy needs his medicine. 7-Up, last I have it. Last glass, unfortunately. That's better. Anyway, this is EpicJason speaking and signing off, and I hope you all have a kick-ass day. And by July 29th, so long, shitty apartment, and good fucking riddance.